Hi guys, this is Nicole Scott.
And this is Sasha Pallenberg.
And today we're going to review a new 7-inch tablet. That's a brand new Kindle Fire HDX 7, right? Which just came out, well, at least for us. It's already on the market in the US since early October or so.
October, yeah.
So when we finally got our version, of course we unboxed it already. And we're going to give you a very, very detailed review. I'm going to let you know how it looks like in terms of performance.
Yeah, and build quality, and if this is the right tablet for you.
Exactly, so check it out.
When it comes to design and build, the Amazon HDX 7 really is top of the pile. It has a really nice soft touch plastic on the back, and it has a different design than most tablets on the market. You can see that it has angular edges right here, and when you hold it in your hand, it has a very nice soft forming angle that's not very harsh. The only part of the tablet that you might like that I don't is the shiny plastic found at the top that houses the dual stereo speakers. You will definitely be hard pressed to find a better built tablet on the market. So let's start off with the hardware. It has a very interesting shape. It kind of has this angles here at the side. You can see it with the power button up here. There's a glossy portion at the top that houses dual stereo speakers, and then the power button is over here. If we take a look at the tablet itself, it's 7.3 inches high, 5.04 inches wide, and it's only 0.35 inches thick, or 9 millimeters. It only weighs 311 grams, or 10.97 ounces. Its display is actually a 1080p display, but it's actually higher. It's 1920 by 1200. Let's just head over, not into this one, into photos here, so you can kind of take a look at how gorgeous this display is. The display has a pixel density of 323. It has a quad-core processor, the Snapdragon 800 at 2.2 gigahertz, along with an Adreno 330 GPU. So this is actually one of the highest spec Android tablets in the 7-inch form factor currently on the market. Now, I do say that it is Android, but you can see, like when you kind of, yeah, there we go. Pull off to the side, that it does have an OS or a skin that is much different, and that's because this is actually a forked version of Android, or kind of a modified version of Android that allows for this very simple skinning.
So the new Kindle Fire HDX 7, how can we compare it? Of course we could use the previous generation. Can you guys still remember this one? This was the very, very first Kindle Fire that came to the market, and oh my god, this was bulky, this was heavy. I really didn't like the experience of it at all. It kind of looks like a BlackBerry playbook. You know what, let's just get rid of this. And then we've had the second generation, which was already getting a little bit more handy. We've had the stereo speakers on the back, and the overall look and feel is quite different compared to the first generation, and in my opinion a much better tablet. And once again, you can also see, even though the display is not a 4:3 format, but the overall device kind of looks like it. But I think we should compare the Kindle Fire HDX 7 to its toughest competitors, and in my opinion that's first of all the brand new Apple iPad mini Retina that we have over here now on the right side, and of course the Nexus 7 2013. So let's just dive right into it and let's talk about some technical specifications here. Well, first of all, we have 7-inch screens on the Nexus 7 and on the Kindle Fire HDX. Both are coming with a resolution of 1920 by 1200. On the iPad mini Retina, we have a 7.9-inch display in a 4:3 format. These are 16:9. And it comes with a resolution of 2048 by 1536. So this is this infamous Retina display, which has nothing to do with any kind of technology. This is just a marketing thing that Apple is using. You know what? Let me just zoom in a little bit. Here we go. When it comes to the SoCs, These are also quite similar to each other. We have a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro here on the Nexus 2013, which is nothing but an underclocked Qualcomm Snapdragon 600. I don't know why they renamed it. It's of course also a little bit cheaper then. We have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, and as the Nexus 2013 or Nexus 7 2013 SoC, it's also a quad-core Snapdragon 800, 2.2 GHz, and it comes with the right architecture that is supporting the Adreno 330 GPU. While over here on the Nexus 7 we have the Adreno 320 GPU, and the quad-core is clocked at 1.5 GHz. On the iPad mini we have the brand new Apple iPad A7. That's the first 64-bit SoC that came to the consumer market, or is available on a consumer platform, and it's supported by the PowerVR G6430. By the way, the CPU in there is just a dual core clocked at 1.3 GHz. In terms of the RAM, the iPad mini only sports 1 GB of RAM, while the Nexus 7 2013 has 2 GB, and the Kindle Fire HDX 7 has 2 GB of RAM. With internal storage, we have 16 and 32 GB over here, 16 and 32 GB over there, 16, 32, 64 and 128 GB on the Apple iPad mini Retina. When it comes to the weight of these devices, you know what? The Nexus 7 2013 is going to weigh this category, 299 grams. On the Kindle Fire HDX 7, we're coming in at 311 grams. And over here, the Apple iPad mini Retina, 341 grams. So this is by far the heaviest device in this comparison. Also, what we would like to know is how thick are these devices. So that's 7.5 millimeters here. And this one is 8.65 millimeters, while the Kindle Fire comes in at 9 millimeters. Of course, they are running different operating systems. We have the pure Android experience here on the Nexus 7 2013. So that's a vanilla experience. On the new Apple iPad mini, we have iOS 7, of course. And over here, we have Kindle's or Amazon's very own version of Android, which is a huge fork, and as you can tell, right, almost doesn't look like Android anymore.
Now, when looking at the operating system, the first thing that you should notice is that this is Android, but this is not stock Android. It actually has been modified by Amazon. The code name of the OS is called Mojito, but it actually is standard Jelly Bean, Android 4.3, but it has a skin. So there's actually a lot of optimizations that have happened, actually specifically with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor, to actually kind of improve upon some of the offerings of the chipset. So we have some encryption added in because Amazon is looking at joining the ranks of the business tablet. But that's kind of an aside. But basically what we have is that they have simplified the UI. So up top here is the carousel. One up here is where you can kind of go around, right? And when you see on the side, if you kind of pull from this, actually if you head into any of these, on the side here you can go back, or you can go home, right? Or you can pull up list view, so you can kind of change the way that you look at these things. You can head home. But up here it's just because Amazon is primarily a store, they have a lot of different ways that you can interact with buying content, say audiobooks. But one of the cool things about, well, that's not really loading, but one of the cool things about this is that you can watch a lot of movies. So this comes with 1 month of free Prime, which means I can watch a whole variety of different videos or movies or all these kinds of things. So here I am in the music. Let's head into videos. So you can see that recently added to Prime, so all these things that are in Prime, I can just watch them. So one of the added big bonuses is that you can have access to a lot of really cool content, all for one price. So if you head back in here, you can see that I have downloaded a lot of apps. So I already did a top 10 gaming video for free games, Asphalt, Real Racing 3. I ran some benchmarks. Here's the National Geographic magazine. This one definitely wants to be used in this mode instead of the landscape. Now there is a camera over here. One of the things that is missing on this tablet is a rear-facing camera, so you don't really need to worry about taking photos or any photo applications. You just basically want to worry about Skype, which you can get on here. So when we take a look, you can pull down from the top, auto-rotate, brightness, wireless. What's interesting is quiet time, so you can turn your notifications off, because this is kind of a tablet targeted towards people who are new to owning tablets. Amazon is quite good at that. They even have a Mayday section here where you can call in or live chat with somebody to connect to ask questions immediately. But if you pull down even more and you go into the settings, you can sync all of your content. My account, parental controls is a really good one. When it comes to performance, this is one of the best performing tablets on the market. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor is definitely top of the pile. It's running an Adreno 330 GPU, and this is more than capable of putting out 1080p content to a TV. That's actually one of the main reasons why Amazon went with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, is that you do see some amazing graphics results. So there actually is no rear-facing camera on this tablet. There's only a front-facing camera, and it is a 720p camera. And what else do you do with a 720p camera? You test selfies. So here's me taking some selfies. But like, to be honest with you, like for a 720p camera, like my hair should have been like, you should be able to see like the strands of hair, because it's not as if this is like super far away. So I also took a video. Whee! I'm really not sure what other kind of selfie videos you take with a front-facing camera than that one. But to be honest with you, the number sounds great, 720p, but the quality itself I don't think is that fabulous. So now let's check out the display. It is a 1080p display, but it's actually 1920 by 1200. I think the color on this display are absolutely great. The blacks are very black. If you compare that to the bezel, it's looking really good. If we just want to check the viewing angles here, I mean, the gyroscope does work. I mean, obviously this is a glossy display, the tablet, but I think the vibrancy, the color saturation, yeah, everything about this tablet display is fantastic. So here we are outside. We're just going to check on the viewing angles. It's an overcast day, so the reflection isn't too bad, but you can see there is definitely still some glare. So now the Kindle Fire does come with 2 stereo speakers. You can see them up here at the top in the shiny part. So if we just turn this over, let's, we've been using sticky buds to...
Now big respect to the Shambhala massive.
Let's turn it all the way up. Okay. You can hear it. It kind of even has some bass to it. That's really not bad for a 7-inch tablet.
So these were all our different test categories, and it's about time to come up with our verdict for the Kindle Fire 7 HDX.
Now in terms of the specifications, this is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor, and this is one of the best on the market. So of course it's one of the best performing 7-inch tablets around.
Well, absolutely. Well, what I'm really missing is, even though that I'm not taking a lot of pictures with a tablet, and I'm always kind of questioning if it really needs a rear-facing camera, but this one doesn't even sport a rear-facing camera, and in my opinion, this is definitely a disadvantage.
Yeah, and no micro SD card slot.
No, you can't just extend your internal storage at all.
Now when it comes to the hardware, this is a very comfortable tablet to hold in landscape mode. I like the angling on the back. Overall, I think it's kind of nice, the soft touch, but it's not as good as other tablets on the market.
You know, it's quite interesting because, in my opinion, this is the very first 7-inch landscape mode tablet, right? The way they designed it, right? It is...
Wait, there was the BlackBerry Playbook.
Okay, oh my god. There was the
forget?
Playbook. Actually, guys, we have 2 of them. But still, the way Amazon designed this, and it almost looks a little bit like a stealth fighter somehow, right? The hardware is pretty good, build quality is pretty good, and therefore, I think this is a very, very decent tablet. So to be honest, this might be the best 7-inch screen that you can get right now on a tablet, on any tablet that's available, no matter which operating system it's running. 1920 by 1200 is already very, very good. But you know what I love about this tablet, especially in an outdoor usage scenario, you have something called a dynamic image. And it's kind of boosting the brightness, ramping up the contrast, and it makes it much more readable when you're on the go.
Which is important for a tablet that focuses on media consumption. So excellent job, Amazon.
Definitely. Well, it has a camera.
On the front, it has
on the front.
720p camera even on the front. Mm-hmm.
1.3 megapixel camera on the front. But you know what? I never make these video calls, do you?
Not really.
Not really. Well, we're using Skype every while and then, but it's mainly on our Ultrabook, but we never use it on our tablet. And there is no camera on the back. I know it looks ridiculous to take pictures with a tablet, but you know, it's a kind of nice to have thing. And a lot of people are actually buying tablets with a camera on the back because they're using it to take pictures.
No, absolutely. And it is. I know it's a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So the camera is missing and therefore, sorry, Amazon, not that good. Woohoo! Stereo speakers and Dolby certification. This tablet is a beast when it comes to sound.
It sounds good. It's got full, it almost has bass. Like it really does sound great.
Yeah, the only problem that I have, especially when we're comparing this to the Lenovo, which has front-facing speakers, those are on the back. But the good thing is they are not on the bottom, so you're not covering it with your hands when you're holding it in landscape mode. They are above here. Well, what Nicole kind of referred to as bass, you know what? In my opinion, I'm used to these big speakers and bass, and you know. But for a tablet, for a 7-inch tablet, right? It has something that comes close to the definition of bass. But once again, these are probably one of the best speakers out there. Oh my goodness, is this tablet fast?
Absolutely. It is a specification benchmarking beast. It wins most of them and the performance is great.
Absolutely. You know, whatever you want to do, you want to play the latest 3D games, you want to play... Well, of course you can play full HD movies, right? That's not a big challenge for this tablet. I'm pretty sure that this would also be capable of running 4K movies on it. But once again, you know, this will still be a very, very fast tablet next year and even in 2015.
Despite the OS.
That's true. So not only is this a very compact form factor, not only is this a very fast tablet, I think the battery life is also very good. We came in way over 10 hours for us, and there's only one tablet that we've tested that was better, or that was kind of beating the new Fire HDX, and that was the iPad mini, which came in at like roughly around 12 hours. So therefore, this is fantastic, right? This is ultra mobile. You want to watch movies on the go. I can just take it with me, get to the airport here in Taipei, fly over to San Francisco, and can watch movies all the way. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thumbs up.
Here comes the tricky part, software. Nicole, maybe you want to kick that one off.
Right, so the Fire OS is good for some people. Like my dad, I bought him a Nexus 7, but he kept on going, but I love my Kindle, even though it's heavier, because it was straight up media consumption. And it's good for the first time you own a tablet. But I think once you graduate into like the real world of tablet operating systems, you can put on your grown-up pants for navigation and you can kind of handle a real OS, this isn't really, you know, the best tablet for a aggressive Android user, right? Somebody who likes the customization, because there really isn't any customization at all in this.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, this is the worst experience I've ever had on a tablet. Once again, in my opinion. Now look at this. You're downloading apps, you're downloading content, you're subscribing to magazines, and this navigation, you're just basically flipping through all your content. Could you imagine how this tablet will look like in about a year when I'm downloading like 32 gigabytes of applications and of content? You're gonna swipe through this forever, right? That you can even kind of strain your elbow or whatever, or your finger. So therefore, and once again, just for me, this isn't the software that I'm looking for.
Me neither, but if you compare it to previous generations, they've actually improved it a lot.
Definitely.
So, yeah, we can't give it a very good rating, but for some people, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it comes in at $229, which is a very good, aggressive price point, especially with the HD display. But this ad on the front is why it comes in so cheap, right? You need to pay extra to get the edition without the baby diaper advertising on the front.
So, well, some people would say it's a customized lock screen, right? You're constantly getting new information from manufacturers and offers and whatnot. Maybe this could be even an advantage for some. It's not a bug, it's a feature. And I agree with you. $229, it's a very, very competitive price point. They're on the same level as the Nexus 7 2013. And for what you're getting in terms of the display, in terms of the performance, in terms of the battery life, the design, the speakers, geez, this is an amazing price. And therefore, we can definitely, price-wise, recommend the Kindle Fire HDX 7.
Now for the editor's choice. I totally love the hardware. It feels good in the hand, the soft touch plastic, the great display. You know, it comes in all around as a very, very good tablet.
No, absolutely. This might be overall the best 7-inch tablet that is on the market right now. Not only for Android, to date, right? We still have to review the iPad mini Retina. But here is my biggest concern. Once again, my personal concern, and this is the software. I'm just used to an Android operating system that actually looks like an Android operating system, and this is more not something that is kind of weird for me. I love widgets, I love to have a desktop, I love customization. You are stuck in the Amazon walled garden here, right? That's why it is so cheap.
Yeah, and you're in their carousel, and you know, if you do get their Prime, well, then that's a really great, you know, access to a lot of really good, cheap movies, but depends on your geography, right? So there's some definite, you know, pros and cons to this tablet. Personally, it's not going to make my handbag.
As a US Prime, Amazon Prime user, this might be the best media consumption tablet out there. Well, there's also the 8.9 version with even a better display. When you're living somewhere else, I'm not so sure about it. Maybe if you want to root it, want to get a custom ROM on there, they should be out there. Just head over to XDA developers and you're getting a super cheap tablet with a lot of performance and with real Android on there. Dasha's third Kindle. It's funny.
So
first Kindle, second Kindle, third Kindle.
Software.
Gosh, Alex put so much garlic into the...
Then it has that taste.
I'm so thirsty, and I have like a dead cat in my mouth, or a frog in my throat. Oh, software.